Did you tear up a little bit walking into those opening ceremony? Like the world is now watching me.
Yeah. I think for me, going into the opening ceremony, not as much. That was kind of a moment of like I've made it moment and just kind of proud of all the things that I have done and the sacrifices that myself, my wife, and my family have kind of made and that I've had to make to get to where we are. And so it was kind of a more joyful moment getting through that. It wasn't until day two of our competition and right before that kind of final run, that more of the emotional side, and I was able to shed a few tears of wow, I've been able to compete and train and put so much focus into this thing that I've been so passionate about for years, and this may be the last time of which I'm putting on a uniform, putting on a
Sure.
USA uniform at that, and being able to get a last athletic warm up for a competition versus kind of for my own kind of benefit or whatever it may be, and really taking that moment with those guys and saying like, wow, we've made it. Some of them will continue their journeys. I will be taking at least a year off before I kind of explore
Yeah.
whether or not France will be in the cards for 2030, just from how long I've been kind of in the sports world. But to have that moment and to think about lining up with those guys for the last time, getting on that hill and recognizing that we had done and we've continued to do and we're about to do everything that we can to try to put ourselves in a position to kind of have our best finish at the games was definitely an emotional moment for me getting up there.
So speaking of family and your wife, my wife gets mad at me all the time when I take on too much. I coach too many teams
Yeah,
or do whatever else. This has got to be like the ultimate marriage test, right?
yeah,
This is how you figure out if she's the one or not. With all this, because you said you're away for so long and
yeah,
whatever else, has she been understanding? Was there frustration? And you don't have to dial into all of those
yeah,
emotions, but I got a feeling that at some point you guys cried together on the phone or
yeah.
laughed together or whatever else.
Yeah. No, Megan's honestly been my biggest supporter throughout this journey, and for me, she was also a former athlete, and we actually met at Monmouth University where she was a
Oh
pole
wow,
vaulter there, and so she's understands kind of what it takes to give and what it takes from a training schedule. And she even on some of the days where I'm like I don't really feel like training or going to the gyms, like it's gonna take you about an hour and a half, just go and get it done. Like you're not in Lake Placid for all this time and on tour for all this time and away for all this time for you to skip these things. And so she was definitely an accountability partner for me as well, and made sure that I was putting a mirror up to my own reflection when I was making some of the decisions that I've had. But she's been my biggest supporter, and being on tour, I definitely was tough. I think for both of us, just being away for so long, and I was fortunate enough to be able to come home for a few days between Christmas and New Year's before we had to go back again. But those few days aren't enough to get back, get accumulated, get back into a routine. And so now that we're back, we're kind of both have a moment of like, all right, let's get back into a routine and enjoy life together.